Hey guys, so just a bit of an update video for you today. We've just reached 125,000 subscribers, which absolutely blows my mind. It seems like only a couple of weeks ago now that we were celebrating 100,000, and now here we are at 125. So yeah, we had our 100,000 subscriber giveaway as well, which was hugely successful. Congratulations again to Delfino, who was our winner from Mexico. He actually just sent me through a picture this morning of the SimLabs cockpit all set up, ready to go, waiting for the Fanatic gear to arrive. So hopefully you'll have that soon. He'll be up and racing, and we'll be able to see him in some of our community events, which I'll talk about in just a minute as well. But wanted to, I guess, fill you in today on some things that are going on behind the scenes here at Boosted Media. I like to do this every once in a while. I wanted to give you a bit of a mental health update as well, because I haven't been the best recently, and I think it's important to share that with you guys as well, and just basically get you up to speed with all the things that are going on here at Boosted Media. All right, so you're probably wondering why the hell I'm sitting inside a car to film this video, and the honest truth is this is literally the only place I can find right now to film a video without noise and distractions going on around me. So as I'm sure a lot of you guys would have seen on the news around the world, Sydney in Australia, which is near where I live in the greater Sydney area, is in a very, very heavy lockdown at the moment due to an outbreak of the Delta variant of coronavirus. The numbers aren't as high, obviously, as you've seen in other areas of the world, but it is quite concerning for us given the low vaccination rate that we have here in Australia. So our strategy at the moment as a country, I guess, is to suppress as much as we possibly can while we get people vaccinated. I don't want to get into all of that today in too much detail, but basically, long and short of it is, we're in lockdown at the moment. We've been in lockdown now for about a month, which essentially means we're only allowed to leave the house for exercise within 10 kilometers of our house, not allowed to gather in groups of people, not allowed to do any sort of retail shopping, anything like that. Literally, the only reasons we're allowed to leave our house are for essential healthcare, essential work, or to get groceries or exercise. That's literally it. So, it's as I'm sure, I mean, I don't need to explain to you guys. Many of you guys have been through different types of lockdowns over the last 18 months now. You know what it's like, and you know how difficult it can be. And I am definitely one of the very lucky people that is able to earn a living and continue to work from home despite, the chaos that's going around me. We've pulled our kids out of school like we did again last year. And we've been able to isolate ourselves and keep ourselves safe with no real risk of getting sick. And, we're extremely thankful for that. And, as I said before, we're massively thankful for all the support that we get from you guys as well that makes that possible. Now, obviously, we do have Tom working here as well now at Boosted Media, which does add a bit of a complexity to the situation, I guess you could say. And one of the things you would have noticed over the last couple of weeks since we've been in lockdown is that Tom's had a couple of videos that he's put out from his place with no involvement from me. And I've had some more videos which I've done on my own without any involvement from him. So we'll be seeing a little bit more of that. He is still able to travel up here for essential work, but obviously, trying to be socially responsible, we are minimizing the amount of travel that he's doing at the moment. So where he is able to work from home, he's doing so. Where I'm able to work on my own, I'm doing so as well. And, we're just sort of getting together for some of the bigger videos where we need both of us to be, able to produce the content that we need to produce. And we are, of course, isolating ourselves completely independently of each other. So I guess we've created a family bubble, I guess you could say. So his kids have been pulled out of school. My kids are not in school. And basically we're not seeing anybody or doing anything other than just working and, looking after our families at the moment. So it is very tough mentally. I'm kind of used to not having all that much social contact outside of, I guess, communicating with you guys through the internet, which is a big part of my life and something that I am going to talk about in this video as well. But, it is difficult for me personally and for Tom to, not be able to have that adult conversation with people outside of the community. But I think really where it's hardest at the moment for us is for our partners, our wives. So both Erin, Tom's wife, and my wife, Jill, are both early childhood educators. We're both, well, actually, she's a qualified teacher and Jill is a qualified early childhood educator. So they're both teaching the kids. At the moment, they're responsible for that. And Tom and I's responsibility is basically providing financially for the families. So I am of the personal opinion that they've got the harder end of the stick at the moment, trying to sort of keep young kids entertained. Tom's got 3 young kids under the age of 7, and I've got 2 young kids, Lizzie and Benny, who are 6 and 4 years old. So it's very challenging. And yeah, the reason I'm sitting in the car at the moment, in fact, is because I literally can't record anything in the studio right now because the kids are home doing homeschooling and it's noisy, and I don't want to create that distraction from them from what they're trying to do, and don't want to be distracted by what they're doing either. So it is challenging and it has limited the amount of content that we've been able to put out. And unfortunately, it doesn't look like this lockdown is going to be ending anytime soon. So this is going to kind of have to be something that we're going to work around for the next little while. And again, we are very lucky to be in the position that we are in. There's a lot of people that are doing it a lot tougher than us at the moment. So I'm certainly not complaining. I'm just wanting to sort of let you guys know what's going on. So this has provided a bit of an opportunity for me to do a little bit of thinking and I guess take a bit of a step back for the last couple of weeks. And I have been spending a little bit more time away from work over the last couple of weeks, just sort of trying to, I guess, utilize and take advantage of the extra time with my kids. And it has made me realize that I have been burning myself out quite a bit lately. So we are going to be making a few changes on the channel moving forward, which I believe are going to make things better overall, not only for the channel, for you guys, but for Tom and I as well. It's going to make us a lot happier, a lot more, I guess, well-adjusted, and I guess more able to make the content that you guys enjoy the most, which will be awesome moving forward. So it's an exciting time for the channel, but there are a couple of things that I wanted to explain to you guys, which are going to be, I guess, taking part behind the scenes as part of this process. What we're aiming to do is take a little bit of a different approach in terms of the content as well. So as I kind of touched on briefly before, I haven't been doing all the best recently in terms of my mental health. I have had the opportunity over the last couple of weeks to, I guess, take a bit of a step back and realize that I am burning myself out. Now, it's no secret that I've been pumping in massive amounts of hours into this channel for a good number of years now, to the point where it has taken a toll on my mental and my physical health. I'm extremely unfit, even though I don't necessarily look it. I'm not overweight or anything like that, but I very rarely get any exercise other than sim racing, which is terrible. And I really do need to do something about that. I need to spend more time with my kids. I need to spend more time with my wife. A typical day for me, and again, I'm not complaining here, I'm just explaining. A typical day for me is I normally wake up at 10 a.m. I jump straight into work. I'm working all day up until the kids have their dinner at about 6 p.m. I get them to bed. I usually try to spend an hour or so with Jill in the evening, my wife, if I can. That's something that I've only just started doing in the last few months. And our relationship has already gotten a lot better just because of that small, that small thing that I'm doing differently. And then normally she goes to bed at about 9 o'clock and I start working again, and I'll normally work through until about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. Generally, that's when the house is quiet. So that's when I'm actually able to get stuff done. And then, I'll sleep from 4 a.m. until 9:30, 10 a.m. and then start the process again. So I haven't been working any time in for exercise or anything like that. It's literally been from the moment I wake up to the moment that I go to sleep. I'm either working or, helping with the kids or, doing stuff like that. So I haven't been taking any time out for myself personally. You guys will have noticed I haven't had a whole lot of sim racing content either. And the reason for that, when I say sim racing content, I mean actual racing, not reviews and stuff like that. The reason for that is simply because I don't have the time to spend just enjoying sim racing. And what I've realized is, that is taking a toll on my physical, my mental health as well. But it's also taking a toll on the way the channel comes across too, because if I'm not enjoying myself genuinely, then that's not being conveyed in the videos either. And I'm sure you guys would have noticed a couple of times now I've maybe become a little bit snappy in the comments on some videos, maybe responded a little bit aggressively or abruptly if somebody's had something negative to say. I know I've arced up a couple of times in the Discord community as well when people have asked what I sort of feel are silly questions. Particularly if people ask a question that's already been answered in a video, often I'll get a little bit frustrated rather than just saying, hey, watch the video. And, all of those things are manifestations of me not doing very well with my mental health, and I guess taking that out on other people rather than looking at the root cause of the issue and actually fixing it for myself. So that is something that I definitely need to do, and that's something that I genuinely believe the channel is going to be better for moving forward. So that's definitely something that we're going to be focusing on moving forward as well. So to try and strike a healthier balance overall, what we're going to be doing is focusing on one major video per week rather than the 2 or 3 that we've been doing previously. So what I mean by that is one sort of big feature style video, whether it's a game review or a hardware review or something like that, some sort of a high production value video. So we're aiming to do one of those per week. Sometimes it might be one a fortnight, sometimes it might be 2 a week, just depending on what's going on in the industry. Obviously, when there's big product releases, we pull out all the stops to make it happen, regardless of the sacrifices that are needed in the back end to make that happen. But, you know, generally speaking, you can expect to have one sort of feature style video a week from Boosted Media. Not sure in terms of a schedule, which day of the week that will end up being yet. Probably later on in the week rather than earlier in the week, but it just depends. But it'll become apparent to you guys once we start posting the content more routinely. And then on top of that, we'll be doing the normal sort of racing style videos, as well as community races and league races as well. So one of the things that I've been wanting to do, and you guys have been asking for ages, is more structured racing through our Discord community. And, you know, look, to be honest with you guys, it's just something that I haven't been able to dedicate the resource to, because there's only one of me, there's only one of Tom, there's only so many hours in the day, and there's only so much that we can do. So, you know, in pulling back a little bit more from the content, that allows us to free up more time to, you know, be more involved in the community, and I guess provide more value to the community overall as well. So we're going to be doing monthly community races as well as monthly league races. The league is actually already filled up just from people within our Discord community, but if you want to jump in and learn more about that and join in for the next rounds, you can check that out. I'll put some links down in the description below to our website and the Discord community. But we're going to be doing iRacing League racing every first Sunday of every month, and then on the alternate fortnights we'll have a more casual community race as well. And we're mixing that up between a few different sim titles. We'll do iRacing, Assetto Corsa, Competizione, maybe some AMS2, maybe some F1 2021. We'll see. But we'll put polls up in the community to let you guys, you know, sort of help us decide what we do there too. And then on top of that, we'll be doing our more casual style content throughout the week as well. So I want to aim to have at least one racing style video per week, and then maybe, you know, just those little quick tip videos and just little things like that we can produce throughout the week on top of what we're doing for the main videos. So my aim is to have 2 to 3 videos a week, one of those being a feature video and the other 2 or 3 just being those smaller style videos. And I really want to try and focus on making sure that those videos are providing value to the sim racing community rather than just posting a video for the sake of having a video. One of the things that I've always been really big on is, before I pick up the camera to film any video, kind of considering what value that is going to bring to the community. And it is so easy to get sucked into that world of YouTube where it's like, okay, it's been 2 days, it's been 3 days, you got to have a video, you got to have a video, you got to have a video. And, you know, that ultimately ends up with people pumping out content that they're not really putting any thought into and isn't really providing any value to the community, you know, just for the sake of having a video, because if you don't, then the algorithm punishes you. And, you know, I'm not accusing anybody within the sim racing community of doing that. I'm saying that's a wider issue with YouTube in general, and it does create a lot of mental health issues for content creators. That's a big part of the reason is you see so much creator burnout, is because the algorithm encourages people to produce content regardless of whether it's actually providing any value or not. So that's something that I definitely don't want to fall into the trap of. And although we have been, you know, really hustling and really pumping out content as quickly as we can for the last couple of years now, simply to grow the channel as quickly as possible so that we could do the things we wanted to do, I feel like we're at the point now where we can afford to back off a little bit on that. We don't rely so heavily on YouTube pumping our content, because we do have a large organic audience behind us now, which shares the content and, you know, I guess gets it out there in the community without us having to put quite the same amount of effort in that we used to have to. So again, it comes down to working smarter rather than necessarily working harder. Another couple of things that are going to be changing in regards to that as well. One of the things that I've realized, which is really detrimental to my own mental health, is the amount of time that I'm spending on social media in general. I spend way too much time reading comments on videos, getting involved in petty little arguments, whether it's on my own videos or other content creators' videos as well. You know, I am really passionate about getting involved in the community, and I definitely want to keep doing that. I'm not saying I'm going to walk away from social media altogether or anything like that, but I do need to keep that in check. And I do need to accept that there's always going to be people that will watch the videos and, you know, not watch them properly and then ask questions that are answered in the video. And I need to start, you know, allowing the community to answer those questions rather than, you know, wasting hours a day doing it myself, because it is literally 2 or 3 hours a day that I spend on social media, at least, just responding to questions. I'm also not going to be responding to private messages through social media platforms anymore either, other than within the Discord community itself. So, you know, occasionally there will be exceptions to that, but please, you know, don't bombard me with private messages on Facebook, Discord, Instagram, and so forth, because honestly, as much as I wish I could respond to every single person, and I know that there's going to be backlash from that. I know, because it already happens. You know, people complain about me not caring about my fans because I don't respond to their messages. you know, the reality is I get hundreds, if not thousands of messages a day at this point. And even if there was 50 hours in a day and I spent literally all 50 of those hours responding to messages and helping people, I wouldn't be able to get to everybody. It's just, there isn't enough hours in the day to be able to do it. And ultimately, any time that I spend doing that is pulling me away from producing content and doing the things that we need to do to, I guess, you know, help as many people in the wider community as possible. So please don't be offended if I don't respond to private messages. It's something that I need to take a bit of a step back from for my own mental health, as well as, you know, for the bigger picture of what we're trying to achieve here at Boosted Media, which is, you know, helping as many people as we possibly can through the content. Now, another thing that I'm aware of is the increase in the number of requests that we're getting for certain types of content, particularly things like track guides, how to become a faster sim racer, you know, how to build computers, things like that, which, look, I mean, again, as we were saying before, we simply don't have the time to produce all of these videos that people are asking for constantly, as much as we would love to. But I guess in thinking about it and really kind of trying to process exactly how to best address those requests for you guys moving forward, I've kind of realized that, you know, maybe I'm not always necessarily the best person to even be tackling that in the first place. So what I've been doing behind the scenes is spending quite a lot of time talking to other people within the community who are experts in these fields, and kind of coming up with ways that we can produce content together as a partnership, which will provide more value for you guys and give you access to things that, you know, will help you guys out without it necessarily being produced directly by Boosted Media. So what I'm talking about here is teaming up with other companies, which I have worked with in the past personally and believe in, to, you know, I guess use their resources and share resources between us to produce more of the content, which will provide those things to you guys, which we simply don't have the ability to produce ourselves for you guys through Boosted Media specifically. So that is something that you can look forward to on the channel as well. It's something that I'll be announcing more details around moving forward. It's a really exciting time for us as well, as we start to look at ways that we can diversify Boosted Media as a business and provide, again, more value to the community that watches our videos without necessarily making it all just about the content on YouTube. So, you know, there's been a couple of things you would have already seen us starting to do in that regard. You know, we've started to do more written articles on our website as well, outside of just, you know, the videos on YouTube. So we're putting more effort into that for people that prefer to read stuff rather than just watching a video. You would have noticed that we've started to put some of our racing videos up on Facebook now, as well as just YouTube. So we're kind of at the point where we don't need to rely on just pointing traffic directly to YouTube all the time. We can start to diversify in that sense, and we can start to collaborate with some other businesses as well. So I'll be sharing a lot more detail on that in the coming months. I've been hard at work behind the scenes, actually going through a bunch of professional driving courses recently to produce some content for you guys myself, but we'll also be teaming up with those people as well to give you access to some of their resources at a discounted rate too. So that's really exciting. And yeah, look, other than that, guys, it's just going to be about trying to do the best we possibly can within the limitations that we have right now with lockdowns, as well as, you know, trying to be a little bit more focused and a little bit more aware of not burning ourselves out and not, you know, doing things that are ultimately detrimental to our mental and physical health, and ultimately therefore detrimental to the channel. So wanting to make sure that this is a long-term sustainable thing that we're growing here, and wanting to make sure obviously that we're providing the best value that we possibly can to the Boosted Media community. So we've got a bunch of projects coming up over the next few months. Obviously, we've had to delay the big wall-mounted PC build for quite some time. We had all sorts of problems getting components and stuff here, but I am starting working on that now. So you'll start to see some videos dropping there. We've got a couple of motion platforms here as well, full motion cockpit setups, which we'll be testing as well. Tom's already working on one of those behind the scenes right now as we speak. And yeah, look, a whole bunch more review videos as always coming as well. But we will be trying to stick to that slightly more realistic schedule that we've talked about earlier. So again, thank you so much for all the support that you give us. And I really am looking forward to all the things that we can achieve together into the future. So thank you very much for all the support once again. Thank you very much for watching as always, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.